Going live. You are looking live at Sold Out Giant Stadium, where today the 15-0 New York Giants take on the 0-15 Washington Commanders. And why are the Washington Commanders 0-15? They suck. And welcome to the Gridiron, everybody. Everybody out there at all. Spend a little bit of time with me here tonight. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Anybody watches the replay of this, thank you so much. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Feel free to leave a comment or in the comment box or the chat box or whatever you want to call it. Going to go about 30 minutes here. Man, I don't know whether just to cry or laugh or just joke about it or just, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. I mean, you kind of figuring, kind of hoping that maybe one of these times, just maybe 1 year, the Giants can catch a break. And I guess maybe they are catching breaks because that's about the only thing that's going on here is guys are breaking body parts left and right. On the same day that Shep, Mr. Injury Prone himself, comes back from his torn ACL. I'll tell you what, very impressive. He did it last December, and here he is back. It's August already, and he's back. I mean, with any luck, he should be maybe playing week 1. I mean, I'll tell you what, fantastic. Love it. I mean, let's see how long he can stay healthy for. But, I mean, same day he comes back, Collin Johnson goes out and tears his ACL. Absolutely unbelievable. It's not only that. I was looking. The only thing I could find, okay, I was looking online, but I got the NFL app on my phone, and they were talking about, obviously Collin Johnson tearing his ACL. The Giants terminated the contracts. I'm going to go over this in a minute of a couple of guys. Shepard came back, but then he's talked about Collin Johnson tearing his ACL. Yeah, he went down. He had to get carted off the field with a lower leg injury. And, of course, you don't expect anything good out of that. And it wasn't any good. But the NFL, on the NFL app, they also, I couldn't find anything online about it. So the only place I could find it was, the NFL app. Bad news for Collin Johnson suffered a torn ACL. The team announced Wednesday. Johnson was placed on season-ending, unbelievable, injury reserved as a result. And another Giant, the star of the preseason week number 2, when we beat the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, I guess you got to give. I don't know if you want to give 1 and 1A. I mean, you got to give Davis Webb his due. I mean, 22 out of 27, over 200 yards, driving the guys down. 2 touchdown passes, ran into 2-point conversion. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic outing him. But also along with him, 1A or 1B, however you want to look as far as the stars of that game, would be Alex Bachman. Okay. And apparently he left practice with a toe injury, and his status isn't immediately known. So, I mean, I don't know, how bad that's going to wind up being. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But I mean, it was just simply amazing how, simply amazing. Alex Bachman had it, even Collin Johnson. Those 2 guys were our top receivers. I mean, Bachman had the phenomenal game against the Bengals, and then Collin Johnson had 10 receptions. He had 7 receptions against the Patriots, and he had 3 this past week. So he had 10. I mean, and what Dable was talking about also was, he said, those guys were not only fighting pretty much just to make the roster, but they were also, kind of fighting to start getting some playing time as well. I mean, you're not hearing anything about Darius Slayton, right? Kenny Golladay, I mean, you're only paying the guy $18 million. I mean, Got Shepard coming back. I said, you can put Shepard on my team anytime. Absolutely love the guy. Absolutely phenomenal. Great teammate, great play, all that, everything. He just can't stay healthy. Kadarius Toney, kind of wondering, if the guy even wants to play football at all. My top 3 receivers are, it's not good. Wan'Dale Robinson, okay. Thankfully, we drafted him. He looks like he'll be pretty decent. But as I said, then you had the Alex Bachman and Collin Johnson. You're going to need at least 6-5 receivers, maybe 7. Now you can't expect anything from Collin Johnson. His season's over with. Honest to goodness, I don't know if it's the turf that they're doing, or the the turf at the stadium, whatever they're practicing on. They got to look into this. This is something really just absolutely amazing. How they just year in and year out, absolutely amazing. Now, the one thing is that I remember last year, because it was like, the injuries that the Giants had. The Giants led the league. I had a video on it. I forgot. I can't remember. It was PFF did it. Had a stat. The Giants led the league in games missed I can't remember what it was, over the past like 4 years or 3 years or past 5 years or something along those lines, whatever it was. And, yeah, they showed it. They showed a graph, and the Giants were way off to the one side as far as games missed due to injury. Absolutely. But there were 2 teams, if I remember correctly, okay, were on the other end these 2 teams missed. The guys missed the least amount of games due to injury, I believe, was Minnesota and Atlanta. Okay. Both indoor teams, obviously, but they play on turf. And, I can't see them practicing on grass. Maybe they do. I don't know. But, their games are on turf. You figure with Minnesota, you figure, they play 8 or 9 games, whatever you want to call it, at home. They got to play Detroit at least once. So, at least 9 or 10 of their games are indoors and on turf. Same thing with Atlanta. Atlanta, they play New Orleans. So you figure 9 or 10 of their games is indoors on turf. Now, I'm not saying the Giants got a dome stadium. I don't want that. I don't even like the turf. But they missed the fewest amount of games due to injury. So, I'm not exactly sure what it is. It can't be just turf. Because if that was the case, Minnesota and Atlanta would be up there as far as injuries as well, too. So, I don't know if it's the type of turf that they have and the Giants have a different type of turf or what. But, this is just unbelievable. I don't know what it costs, to keep up with a grass field, as far as, obviously you got to water it and fertilize it and mow it and all that. But, you're talking billion-dollar teams here. The teams are worth billions of dollars, and the object is to win a Super Bowl. It's not the, I don't know, get the prettiest uniforms, get the nicest, whatever, to fill the stadiums up. The object is to win a Super Bowl. And I'll tell you what, the amount of injuries the Giants have had, okay, over the course of the past, I don't know, what do you want to say, 10 years or so. But you go back to last year. No team is going to win a Super Bowl. Tom Brady's not winning a Super Bowl with, all his weapons out. That's not happening. Nope, not happening at all. You go look at the Rams. They were relatively healthy as well. The Rams weren't going to win a Super Bowl with all the injuries. Giants didn't even have their starting quarterback in there. That means that would have to mean that Tampa Bay, right, who won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, they would have to win the Super Bowl without Tom Brady. Not happening. Matthew Stafford, right? The Rams won the Super Bowl with him, obviously, but the Giants were on their second and third string quarterbacks. Nobody's going to win with a third-string quarterback in there, right? And all the injuries that the Giants had. I mean, there's no team is going to win a Super Bowl with all the injuries the Giants have. I mean, nothing that will derail a season faster than injuries. That's all the Giants, have. I mean, you can look at all the kind of stats that you want and try to keep the guys healthy and whatnot. But I mean, I hope they really start taking a good, hard look at, any whatever surface they're playing on. I mean, because this is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I never, ever. I only played high school football. I stunk. I only played three years because, I mean, by the time I was a senior, it wasn't fun anymore. Maybe because I stunk. I don't know. But, we used to practice 3 times a day, 3 days, and before the season started, and we never. I mean, Kadarius Toney, come and play in a practice in a day or two, then he's out like a week or so. I mean, it's like, you ain't practicing. Guess what, buddy? You ain't on the freaking team. I mean, I never ever remember any guys being out at all. And we played on crappy grass fields. They were dirt. Maybe some grass here and there, but guys getting hurt, torn ACLs and nothing, absolutely nothing. And we practice, 6 days a week. We obviously one day of the week was the game, but I mean the other 5 we were hitting, we were tackling every day. I mean, guys, maybe somebody might twist an ankle or something, but I mean, we might lose maybe one guy, but I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they have to do something really. I mean, I said, I don't know if it's the turf or what it is, but I mean, if they're trying to win football games or win Super Bowls, they got to look at something. I mean, got the one article here from Giants.com, right? So the Giants today made several roster moves soon after one of their most impressive players in training camp suffered a season-ending injury. I mean, you got Collin Johnson, then you had Beavers, right? I mean, he got right. His season's over. I mean, just absolutely unbelievable. Wide receiver Collin Johnson had been productive virtually every time he stepped on the field and had 10 receptions in the first 2 preseason games towards his Achilles tendon in practice this afternoon. Johnson was placed on injured reserve along with fellow wideout Marcus Kemp, who had a hamstring injury. Another hamstring injury. Absolutely unbelievable. In addition, the Giants terminated the contract of tight end Jordan Akins. I mean, oh my God. Ricky Seals-Jones and Jordan Akins. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. To fill in the vacancies on the roster, the Giants were awarded 3 players off of waivers. Now, don't get too excited about this, guys. They got cornerback Harrison Hand, who's the only player who has any NFL experience between these 3 guys that they got, okay? And he don't have much experience, I'll tell you that much. Then they got wide receivers Jalen Moore and Bailey Gaither, all right? So don't get excited about either one of these guys either, all right? Hand was released by Minnesota on Monday. He's the only one of the 3 players with NFL experience. At 5'11", 185 pounds, he played in 23 games with 1 start for the Vikings between 2020 and 2021. He was credited with 12 tackles and intercepted 1 pass, and he had 3 passes defensed, okay? And he was a cornerback, right? Hand was the Vikings' 5th-round draft choice from Temple, all right, in 2020, the 169 overall selection. Then we got Jalen Moore, okay, and Gaither were both released this week by the Ravens. They each had 2 receptions for the Ravens this preseason. Moore had 15 yards and Gaither had 18 yards. All right, don't get too excited, guys. Moore's 5'11", 191 pounds, entered as a rookie free agent with the Ravens in 2020 and spent all that season and most of 2021 on a practice squad. I'm going to go over this. He had 4 seasons with Tennessee Martin. All right. He had 92 catches, 1,492 yards, and 18 touchdowns. Now, his reception to touchdown ratio is very, very impressive. I mean, basically, you're looking at like 1 out of every 5 passes he caught went for a touchdown. Very impressive. Okay. Now, obviously, talent level he went up against in college is not quite the NFL, right? But 1 out of every 5 catches he caught in college went for a touchdown. 20%. Very impressive. Gaither, 6 foot tall, 188 pounds. These guys are both small, right? Which is not going to do much to replace Collin Johnson, who is 6'6". Okay. Gaither was signed as a rookie free agent on May 14, 2021 by Green Bay. Right. Early 2021 training camp, he announced. Yeah, I saw this in Wikipedia. He announced his retirement. He was drafted, and about a month or so later, he announced his retirement. And then he went to the USFL. Then the Ravens signed him in July 27, 2022. Gaither played 5 seasons at San Jose State, where he had 135 receptions, 2,227 yards, and 18 touchdowns. Once again, the receptions to touchdown rate is very, very impressive. Okay. Johnson was awarded to the Giants off waivers on September 1st, 2021. All right, remember last year, a day after he was released by Jacksonville. They gave up on him. Last year, he played only 12 games. He had only 1 start, but he caught only 11 passes for 105 yards. All right. Kemp signed with the Giants as a free agent on July 25th. He had a 17-yard reception in a preseason victory against Cincinnati. Kemp entered the NFL as an undrafted free agent out of Hawaii with Kansas City Chiefs in 2017. He has played in 44 regular season, 8 postseason games, all but one of them with Kansas City. Kemp has 4 regular season receptions for 42 yards. Akins, our tight end, joined the Giants as a free agent on April 22nd. In 4 seasons with Houston, he caught 114 passes, 1,260 yards, and 3 touchdowns. His departure leaves the Giants with 3 tight ends. Daniel Bellinger, Austin Allen, and third-year pro Chris Myrick, who has 3 receptions in his career. So their whole tight end room is 3 receptions, 3 career receptions. Wow. Are we thin? All right, now you got Jalen Moore here. Okay, so they said don't get too excited about Jalen Moore. All right. I mean, any of the guys, all right, that they got coming in, don't get too excited about that. Okay. Let's see. He played. I mean, they got him here 5 seasons with Tennessee Martin. Okay. 2015 to 2019 with University of Tennessee Martin. The Tennessee Martin Skyhawks. Okay, he was undrafted free agent from Baltimore in 2020. I mean, his offensive grades, according to PFF, were nothing super stellar. And in 2019, his senior season, he graded out as a 58.7. I mean, nothing really super spectacular there. Okay. What you'll see here, let's see. Martin from University of the Tennessee Martin. Okay. Moore had 92 career receptions, 1,492 yards, and 18 touchdowns. So I mean, he was dynamic with the ball in his hands. I mean, I said 1 out of every 5 times he caught the ball, he went for a touchdown. All right, but I mean, 2020, Moore went undrafted during the 2020 NFL draft. On April 26th, Moore signed with the Baltimore Ravens as an undrafted free agent. So basically, right after the draft was over, he signed with the Ravens. Okay. When Moore was signed by Baltimore, he became the only University of Tennessee Martin player signed by an NFL team for the season. On September 5th, 2020, Moore was released by the Ravens. The next day, he was signed back by the Ravens to go on the practice squad. Moore was never elevated to the 53-man roster and remained on the practice squad for the rest of the season. 2021, January 18, 2021, Moore signed a reserved future deal with the Ravens. May 17th, okay, 5 months later, it was confirmed that Jalen Moore would be switching. He was switching numbers. He was 81. He switched to number 10. Moore made his preseason debut on August 14, 2021 against the Saints. He finished the Ravens' leading receiver with 2 catches for 32 yards. On August 31st, Moore was released by the Ravens. He was subsequently signed to the practice squad a day later. He signed a reserve future contract with the Ravens on January 10th. He was waived on August 23rd. All right. So then he was waived on August 23rd. August 24th, Moore was claimed off waivers by the New York Giants. Okay, so, I mean, don't, get too wild and crazy about him. 2018, when he was a junior, he tallied 52 receptions, 799 yards, recorded a team-high 8 touchdown receptions, right? He ranked 4th with 72.6 yards per game. He had averaged 4.7 receptions, okay? 15.4 yards a catch. Senior season, he was named the College Football Network All-Ohio Valley First Team, named the Phil Steele's preseason All-Ohio Valley Conference Second Team, played 9 games for the Skyhawks at wide receiver while starting in 7 games, missed 5 games due to injury, which is something we don't need for our wide receivers, right? So his senior season, right, he tallied 16 receptions for 292 yards, and he notched 5 touches. So basically 1 out of every 3 times he caught the ball, he went for a touchdown. But he averaged 18.2 yards a catch, all right? But, I mean, if he was anything super spectacular, chances are he would have been playing for the Ravens. So don't get too crazy about him. Then we got Bailey Gaither, okay? Now, same thing with him. I mean, he played he's got 5 years at Boise State, okay? 2016 to 2020. All right. I mean, he missed some time as well, too. I mean, this last season, he missed a bunch. He missed the first half of last season in college. I mean, he graded out, let's see, Pro Football Focus in 2020 graded out, his offensive grade was a 78, which is, okay, very respectable. But, I mean, don't get too crazy once again with him. Let's see. He was redshirted through his 2015 season, okay, at San Jose State. Gaither started 1 game in 2016, making 4 receptions for 43 yards and a touchdown. He also returned 7 kickoffs for 128 yards. 2017, Gaither started 4 of 9 games. He recorded 22 catches for 320 yards and 4 touchdowns. He also returned 13 kicks for 256 yards and a blocked punt. In 2018, Gaither started 3 of 4 games. His season was cut short with a torn ACL. Okay, so we're talking about it, bringing in another guy who got injured. Okay. Oh, my God. Gaither had the best college season in 2019. He started all 12 games and caught 52 passes, 812 yards, and 6 touchdowns. All right. He also recorded 1 punt return for 10 yards and had a blocked punt that was returned on ESPN Sports Century's top plays of the day. All right. So, I mean, the competition he was playing with was not super spectacular. So, as I said, don't get crazily excited about either one of these wide receivers. Gaither signed with the Green Bay Packers as an undrafted free agent shortly after the conclusion of the 2021 NFL Draft. He was an undrafted free agent. He signed right after that with the Packers. Okay. So at the end of April, he signed with the Packers. So it's end of April, end of May, end of June, end of July. Okay. So he signed with the Packers right shortly after the NFL Draft in 2021. 3.5 months later, he retired and was placed on the reserved retired list. He retired 3.5 months later, retired from football. On August 20th, he was waived from the retired list. Gaither, the following season, Gaither came out of retirement and was selected in the 14th round of the 2022 USFL Draft by the Pittsburgh Maulers, which reunited him with his former college teammate, Josh Love. Gaither was transferred to the team's inactive roster on May 6, 2022, with an illness. He was moved back to the active roster on May 14th. Then this past season, on July 27, 2022, Gaither signed with the Baltimore Ravens. A month later, on August 23rd, he was waived. The next day, he was claimed off waivers by the New York Giants. Okay, so once again, guys, there's a reason why these guys were on practice squads. Yeah, came undrafted. One guy retired, came out of retirement. Signed by the Ravens. They let him go. There's a reason why. Unfortunately, as I said, I wish there was something to get excited about, but don't get too excited about this. All right. I said I wish we could, but Zach Kellman, let's go Big Blue. You got it, brother. Let's go Big Blue. Even with all these freaking injuries, we got to mush on. Yeah, right. We got to keep on keeping on. Right. Even if every player goes down, which is certainly a possibility. The way every day seems to go by, another player, another day of training camp, another player goes down. It's unbelievable. All right, then we got Harrison Hand. Okay, he's the only one out of these three guys that the Giants picked up off of waivers as any NFL experience, okay, whatsoever. Now, he has, I'm going to see here, snaps by position. What do we got? Snaps by position. Can we get it? All right, 2021. All right, 2020. He had a total of 307 snaps, and I'm going to do 2021. So 307, 400. He has a grand total of 425 snaps. In 2 seasons, he has a grand total of 425 NFL snaps. Now, a lot of these has punt coverage, punt return, field goal, extra point block, kick return, kick coverage. So he has, he's played, a lot on special teams. Okay. Now, what he has here, okay, is defense. He has 165 snaps on defense. 2021 with Minnesota, okay, it looks like here he has a grand total of 2 snaps he played. Week 9, he played 1 defensive snap. And week 16, he had 1 defensive snap, okay? 2020 had 163 defensive snaps. He played 43 run defense on the run defense. He pass rushed 1 time, 119 plays in pass coverage. Okay. Now, he didn't grade out too badly in 2020 with Minnesota. His defense grade was a 65.8 on 163 snaps. His run defense was an 81.6. Very good. His tackle was a 54.6. His pass rush was a 60. His coverage grade was a 62.4. Okay. So, I mean, he gave up a touchdown. He also had an interception in 2020. He had 2 pass breakups. Okay. Balls were thrown his way 14 times. He gave up 9 receptions. So for completion percentage of 64.3. Okay. So, I mean, nothing super spectacular, but on the other hand, nothing too horrible either. Okay. So we'll have a chance, with the Giants getting hurt left and right. So we brought Harrison Hand in. Okay. He was from Minnesota. Okay. As I said, he's the only one that has any NFL playing experience. All right. So, I mean, yeah. Giants got, once again, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to keep saying, like, sometimes the only good news is, no news is good news. And a lot of times with the Giants, that's the case. I mean, will the Giants ever catch a good break, shall we say, as far as with these injuries? Because it's just absolutely unbelievable. Every day goes by. Giants, it's not even so much that, a guy, like Graham Gano, he suffered a concussion trying to make a tackle. I think it looked like his head bounced off the turf, but he might be able to come back very soon. So not a guy like, got injured and he'll be back. Maybe he'll miss a week or something like that. I mean, it seems like almost every day, right? Giants are losing another guy, season-ending injuries. I mean, of course they got people looking into this. Of course, because, you can't function as a team. You keep losing guys left and right. But, I don't know if it's the turf or if they just should maybe go back to grass or exactly what it is. But I'll tell you what, they got to do something because this is absolutely unbelievable. I've said this once. I've said it a million times. Nothing will derail a season faster than injuries. Well, guys, it's been about 30 minutes. Anybody at all that spent any time at all checking me out, Zach Kellerman, thank you so much. I got in the chat there, I got one remark. It said, "Let's go, Big Blue." Thank you. Thank you, my man. I greatly appreciate it. I got a thumbs up. Somebody gave me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Anybody watches the replay of this, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart, guys. I greatly appreciate it. I go out there, even if nobody's watching me, I just enjoy doing this, so because I enjoy talking about the New York Giants. I wish I could talk about better things than guys getting injured, but it is what it is, guys. But as always, guys, once again, thank you so much for just taking time to watch my video. I greatly appreciate it. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!